Hi, welcome to Parent Alienation is Child Abuse Unfiltered. Thank you all for being here today and welcome to the new subscribers. I thank you all and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, I'd welcome you to do so. Let's raise this community a bit more and spread more awareness in the way of protecting the children out there. They don't have a voice, so they need someone to have one, and they've got me. Today I'm going to do a discussion about power and control. Narcissistic people thrive on power and control. Usually they inflict this on a targeted parent of a child that has left them due to probably their behaviour. And then they inflict their control and power over whether this parent could see their child. And they love the power and control that they're allowed to inflict around, not just onto the targeted parent, but also onto the child that's involved, or children involved, because there's usually more than one. Now, power and control with narcissistic people, they have certain ways of getting what they want. If they can't get it by asking and someone tries to stand their ground with these people, well, then they turn nasty. They're good at turning nasty. Sometimes this is kind of an in-your-face nastiness. Sometimes it's a little bit more sneaky and sly behind your back nastiness. But either way, they try to inflict this and try to push their weight around to get what they want. Whether it's, like I said, the targeted parent, or whether it's a child that they try to push around, or manipulate, or control, or turn against the other parent, because that's their ultimate goal. Can't have anybody loving them more than they say they love them, which these parents don't love their children, because you wouldn't do that to a child if you'd love your child. You wouldn't inflict psychological harm on a child, physical harm on a child. You wouldn't manipulate a child into hating the other parent or not wanting to be around its other parent, just for sheer spite, which is 99% of the time how these people work and why they do it for. They don't take rejection very well. They don't take criticism very well. You do either of these and you're on their target list, guaranteed. Now, I've known a few narcissists in my time. Grew up with a narcissist, and I've had to sit back and watch my children deal with narcissistic people. That's a helpless feeling, being in the background and knowing what's going on, and having your hands tied to be able to help. Because I don't believe in being involved in your children's relationships or your children's partners. That's something they need to figure out on their own. And the more you go in there and say this person's bad or that person's horrible and you shouldn't really let them do that to you and things like that, the more you'll get the opposite effect. The more they're going to side with the narcissistic person, because these narcissistic people, while they inflict a lot of trauma and abuse on people around them, mainly their children and the targeted parent of the child, these people like to play victim. Oh my God, are they good at playing victim? Don't call them out. Don't make them justify what they're doing. Don't question anything they're saying or doing, because as I've said before, you will be on the retargeted end of that person. These people don't like to be questioned. They don't like to be criticised. They like to believe that they're right, what they're saying goes. And if you question that, then oh my gosh, they turn into the victim. Oh, everybody's against me. Oh, poor me. Oh, why don't you like me? Why do you hate me? Everybody hates me. And if you don't fall into their victim crying games, then they'll start making accusations against you. They'll start calling you names, not to your face, mind you. They'll just behind your back go and plant all these seeds to people about what a horrible person you are, how you hurt children and hurt people, to make themselves feel better. Because they can't take criticism. They can't take anyone questioning what they do. These people are on another level. I don't even really class them as a human being, because the way they treat people, the way they treat their own children, no normal human being would do that to somebody. Now, these people that I've been aware of, and people that I've dealt with myself, they go out to cause as much hurt and disruption as they can to everybody around them, especially if you criticise them, or you can see straight through their bullshit, which I'm pretty good at seeing straight through bullshit. So a lot of narcissistic people don't like me because I see them for who they are, and they don't like that. And I'm not going to be controlled or manipulated by someone like that. And they know that too. So I do make a few enemies from people in that position because, like I've said before, I don't deal with bullshit. I never have and I never will. And these people don't like that. So then they'll just spread lies and bullshit about you and about your family. And why they're doing this, and like I'm an adult and other people are adult and can sometimes handle the rubbish that gets thrown in your direction, these children aren't in that position where they're strong enough to cope with something like that. These children become brainwashed. These children are manipulated easily because these children have to live with these people. Now, if you've left a narcissist, you'll know what I'm talking about. And yet the child's stuck there with no support, no one to protect them, no one to look out for them, no one to pull this person in line because their own family don't do it. A couple of the narcissist people that I know of, their families actually have allowed them to be like this. They've allowed them to manipulate people and get away with it instead of making them be responsible and accountable for what they've done. Narcissists and people like that are never held accountable. They're never held to justify or explain what they've done and why they think it's a good idea that it's all right to hurt somebody like they have. Especially their own child. That child hasn't had even a chance to grow and they're already have changed that child for the rest of that child's life. That child will no longer be the same. That child's been caught in a conflict between two grown adults. One who just simply wants to be involved in the children's lives and be part of that child's growing. And one who couldn't get over a relationship, broke up, and decided to use the child as a weapon, as a way to hurt that other person. And the more you give your power to these people, the more that you buckle and beg and plead and try to do the right thing in the way to see your child, the more power you're actually giving this person. These people thrive on that. They thrive on wanting to be people begging them and pleading with them and just to see their child. These people aren't a normal human being. That's why I don't really class them as a human, like I've said before, because you wouldn't inflict that on somebody else. I was always believed that you treat people how you wanted to be treated. And if you treat people with love and kindness and consideration, then you get that back. But narcissistic people don't work that way. Narcissist people don't work that way at all. They work by causing trauma, damage, as much conflict and confusion, and just make a whole mess of what doesn't need to be made a mess of. And in the end, these kids are the ones that suffer for all this. But the narcissistic parent, mother or father, is oblivious to this fact because they simply don't care. They simply don't care about the damage or the hurt they're causing. They thrive on this. It gives them power. That's why I say don't give your power away. When you're a child, it's harder because you're a child and you don't have the strength and the voice to fight somebody like that, or the knowledge on how to deal with somebody like that. But when you get bigger, you can learn how to deal with people like that. Different ways to cope, different things to say, so you don't get entrapped by a narcissistic person. What happens to these children is these children are robbed of their childhood. They're robbed of their happiness. They're robbed of the ability to trust people. Like I've said before, if you can't trust your own family, who can you trust? These kids live a day-to-day struggle of having to go to school to learn, or try to learn, knowing that they'll probably go home to a conflict that night between their mother and father, or to go home to a narcissistic parent that likes to take their frustration out on their child. They rob these children of a happy future because of their own selfishness, their own lack of ability to see the damage they're doing, because they're too wrapped up in being spiteful and trying to hurt the other parent. And these kids suffer for that. And that's not fair. These kids are entitled to a happy future, to learn and grow naturally as a child should grow, to go and play, to be a child, not have to worry about stresses of what your parents are up to, or whether you're allowed to be seeing your other parent this weekend because your mother or your father might have the shits with you for some reason, or they've got the shits with the parent because they've done something that's upset them again. These kids pay that ultimate price. These kids grow and these kids remember. They remember the betrayal that's been put on them. They remember all the arguments that you've had in that house with them together, with the parents arguing amongst each other, and they know who's the instigator in that. They will know that one parent is more of a bully, if you'd like to put it that way, because that's what these people are. They bully people into getting what they want and throw little tanties when they don't. So they're only really, I was going to say big kids, but actually that's insulting children, because a lot of children, that's normal what you expect a child to do if they upset about something. They throw tanties. As an adult, you don't expect that from an adult. You're supposed to have got past that in your teenage years or your young adult years, your young adolescent years, get all that out of your system then. But some of these people don't do that. They grow and thrive on the pain and trauma that they inflict on people. The control and power they have over their child, about whether that child can go and see that other parent that weekend because they've got the shits with them because they didn't clean their room. Or you'll have parents that will make arrangements to do some activity. Narcissistic people are good at that too, causing conflict between the targeted parent by making arrangements for activities to happen on the weekend that parent's meant to see that child. We have spoken about that once before in one of my previous videos. That's what they do. They'll deliberately go out of their way to have a family gathering when all the family's going to be there and this child's going to miss out because you're going to see your daddy or your mummy. Or, oh, we're going to go to Dream World, or we're going to go to Roller Coaster World, or, we're going to Splash World or somewhere exciting. Oh, but you can't come because you're going to go see your dad or your mum. I'm just taking the other kids. This is the mental abuse. And these people know they're doing it. They can fool some of the people, but these people know exactly what they're doing. Care factor, 0. And I've spoken before about what happens when these people get old and their children grow up and move out of home. How these people turn up to be old and alone. And then they sit there and go, oh, why? Why? Well, I didn't do anything wrong. I did everything for you. I withheld you from your parent because, I was mad at him, but I was doing it for you. Or I abused you because you wanted to go to see your parent, or you spoke of your parent. I did it for you. Because you don't know how bad that person was. I knew. You don't. And no, these kids aren't stupid. They know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. Except you think they forget. And they don't. So all the narcissistic people out there that have been weaponising their children as a way to hurt their ex-partner because they've moved on or found somebody better or made bad choices and found out they're not the person you want to be with, but you've gone out and have a child with that person, regardless of the reason, be it be forced upon you or whether it was a willing decision to have a child. There's consequences to all actions. That's why I say we need better education. We need life skills. We need to get something happening so kids aren't going out there having children when they're children themselves. They don't know about the ways of the world. They only know how they've been brought up. And if they've been brought up by a narcissist, unless someone teaches them different, they'll repeat that circle. Unless they're smart enough to figure it out and break the chain. We've spoken about that before, about breaking chains and choosing not to carry on the trauma that was given to you to somebody else. Because that's how things keep going. Eventually, if no one stops it, can you imagine how the world would be? Can you imagine how many children out there will be misdiagnosed, mistreated because of them lashing out purely from the frustration and trauma that they have to contend with at home, or the lack of being able to see a loving parent that they're very close to, that their other narcissistic parent, be it mother, be it father, has decided that they're no longer allowed to see, as well as the extended family, uncles, aunties, cousins, nieces, nephews. This goes on. This goes on. But in the narcissistic world, that's totally fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'm causing a lot of hurt and I'm really happy about that. My ego is massive. Oh, yeah, but you're going to get old. You're going to get old and you're going to be alone. You're going to need somebody with you at some point in your age. All older people need somebody there to support them toward the end. But unfortunately, they won't be there for you. And they're totally within their rights to do that because you've betrayed them. You betrayed them as a parent. You denied them love of both parents in their life, the ability to grow and develop naturally with both parents' involvement in their life, the influences of having both parents in their life, the mother and the father. Both parents play an important role in children's upbringing. But the narcissistic person seems to not comprehend that. It's like a yin and a yang. You need both to know, to go through life and be productive and to work things out smartly. Not to be forced to face the world when you have so much trust issues that your parents have given you. I wrote a poem a couple of years ago, and it's dedicated to the narcissistic parents. I did put it out on social media and it was well received. I'd like to read it on this video today because I think it's relevant to what this particular video is about. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I hope narcissists pay attention. This is aimed at you. Just put my art glasses on because, yep, I'm that old. It's called Parents Who Alienate Their Kids, This Goes Out to You. Parents who alienate their kids, this goes out to you. Do you stop and think about what it is you do? All the lies you tell, the manipulation you've done, all the time you've stolen that can't be undone. I bet you like the power and control you think you have. To make a child choose between their parents really is quite sad. All the hurt you cause, the memories you erase, will come back one day and slap you in your face. I know you think it's funny, but hey, just stick around. Let me tell you something else that I have found. Oh, kids are easy to control, manipulate for fun. To tell lies and things you do, they believe everyone. Because they are little and frightened and don't know what to do, they love both their parents, but you are making them choose. They think you really love them and doing what is right, but we all really know you're doing it in spite. What you don't see is as these children age, so many unanswered questions are causing lots of rage, affecting all different aspects of these children's lives, because you robbed them of the happiness with both parents in their lives. And I'm sure you say, oh no, they're fine, we talk, my kids are all right, while they try to sleep with many questions in their heads late into the night. Now they were kids that believed all your lies. That's because they only heard your one side. As they grow older, their thinking does change. Their memories come back as well as more pain. They will start searching for the truth. Your lies and control gone. They finally got the truth. They knew all the time but didn't have the proof. Now they know who's to blame and it's you who gets the boot. These kids are grown up now and have some news for you. You're no longer in control and they're not scared of you. You robbed them of their happiness when they were small. You don't get to do that now that they are tall. You made them choose because you couldn't just move on. Instead, you thought of you and damaged everyone. The time has come to shut this down. My time with you is done. Your children are not property. They're not owned by anyone.
Let them grow, be happy and free with nothing to lose. This can happen if you don't make them choose. Thanks everybody. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Got so many more coming. Thank you again for all my subscribers and thanks to the new ones. See you in my next one. See you guys.